In this video, you will hear from someone who has been in the utility industry for more than 35 years. So we'll want to explore that. And has started a new job here at Franklin Energy, a new position called Director of Regulatory. So we want to explore that as well. And if you think that sounds interesting, you definitely need to keep watching this video. This is Dan, and welcome to Let's Meet a Franklinite. Today we have Pat Michalkiewicz. Hi, Pat. How are you doing today?
Good, Dan. Thanks for having me on.
All right, Pat is our Director of Regulatory. Now, you worked in a utility for a long time. Did you grow up as a kid wanting to be a utility employee your whole life?
To be honest, no.
And who do you start working for?
I started with Wisconsin Public Service right out of college and started out in their nuclear power operations.
Wow. How long did it take you to find the promised land in energy efficiency?
It found me. I actually had a very interesting career with WPS in a lot of different areas, including account management, managing the call center, and account management eventually is what brought me to energy efficiency. I actually came down to Peoples Gas and North Shore Gas from WPS when they acquired those two utilities.
And Pat was really a one-man show at Peoples North Shore Gas, managing the whole portfolio. And you hired Franklin Energy, or Peoples North Shore did.
What really won the contract for Franklin at the time was the references. Franklin provided a list, I think, of 5 references, and I followed up on all of them, and amazingly enough, every one of them came back and said that Franklin by far didn't just meet their expectations, they exceeded them. And because I was brand new to energy efficiency at the time, I needed an implementer that I could lean on, not an implementer that was going to be leaning on me, and that's what sealed the deal for me.
Wow, that's great to hear. And one of the things that I tell people all the time is that we're only as good as our worst performing program. Because in the utility industry, it's actually, it's a pretty small industry. You know, a lot of people from utilities from across the country through different organizations. And many times, it's not just the 3, references that we provide in the proposal. Because where we might be working elsewhere, you would call someone who wasn't on the reference list to find out how we really perform.
People talk.
Excellent. Well, and your opinion of Franklin, now that you're on this side of the fence, is it still positive? Is it what you thought it was going to be? You've always had a kind of a good impression of Franklin from the client side.
It's exactly what I thought it would be, and probably even better. I mean, one thing that I was always impressed with when I was the client is the character, integrity, and honesty of the enterprise, and I think that comes from the top down. And the culture here is awesome. I don't know how Franklin does it, but it carries through to the regional offices and everyone there as well. So that's the main reason that I was interested in coming to Franklin.
Well, one of the big projects that we really had you come on for was leading what we called the lighting committee. So a year ago, the ISA lighting standards coming up in 2020, a risk to all of the easy, cost-effective energy savings, especially on the residential. We needed to come up with a plan to help our clients through this, and didn't have all the answers. We needed some research and needed someone to lead that group of experts. And so that's what you've spent probably a majority of your time in the last year. Can you talk maybe just a bit about the lighting committee or some of the results that we've seen?
We had a great team. We had representation from all of the business units, and the whole idea was trying to identify what the impact of this legislation was going to be on our program, on our lighting programs, and on our clients, because a lot of them have mandated energy savings that they need to achieve. lighting is a key element of their portfolio, and if that goes away, that's a heck of a void to try to fill.
Right.
And what we were trying to determine is whether or not lighting absolutely goes away in 2020, or is it going to be diminishing returns where the measure is still alive, but the savings are going to gradually taper off.
I think we talked about a cliff or a hill. Right.
And it turns out it was a hill, which is what we were hoping for.
Yep.
We found that there were several states already that had decided to authorize the extension of lighting programs beyond 2020. And as a result of that, we came up with recommendations for our clients.
So regulatory, why should Franklin have a director of regulatory? Is this an important piece for us?
Well, I think we're finding it's maybe even more important than what you initially thought when you created the idea. There's several things out there that impact our business and our clients' business and how we need to go about achieving goals. I think the lighting standard was a great example where it put some of those savings at risk, which jeopardizes utility goals, jeopardizes our revenue. On the flip side of that, there's also things going on out there that present opportunities for us to grow our business, and electric vehicles is one that we're looking at right now, which could present some great opportunities for us. So the whole idea is to try to stay in front of these issues, so we're not reacting to them, we're anticipating them and planning for them and building strategies around them. So
as a utility guy and knowing the industry, and now some work in looking at regulatory across the country, what do you see in the next, say, 5 years for the utility industry and for businesses like Franklin that need to support our clients through what's going to, could be some change? Is it, I guess, what do you see? What's your crystal ball tell us?
Well, I think, EVs are on the immediate horizon. We've already touched on those a little bit, but I think the next challenge, and actually it's being worked on already today by the utilities, is grid optimization, microgrids, distributed generation, batteries and storage, and how does that all fit together to minimize the carbon footprint?
So you're optimistic about the future for the utility industry and Franklin, or how do you see Franklin's role? Is that?
Well, I think utilities are continuing to look for expertise to help them work through these issues, and that's certainly what Franklin provides. And the growth of Franklin and diversifying the expertise with some of the acquisitions that we've gone through can only help us better present a one-stop shop for utilities as they work through these. So I think that probably should be part of our long-term goal. It's not, energy efficiency used to be a lot simpler than what it is today.
And now you live up north.
I bought a vacation home about 5 years ago up in St. Germain on Big St. Germain Lake, and that has become my year-round residence now.
Are there many year-round residents up there, or are you must be one of the few on the lake?
Well, Monaco and Eagle River are not far away, and those are pretty much year-round communities, but you definitely can see increase in population during the summer and during snowmobile season and during deer hunting.
Well, thank you for being part of our new Let's Meet a Franklinite video series, and appreciate all your work and love having you on the team.
Thanks for having me.
All right. So catch us next time, and we'll continue with meeting additional Franklinites from across the country. Take care.